In the worldwide war against crime, there are men and women trained to sink their own identity in the international underworld. They work alone, in danger and in shadow, unrecognized by friend and enemy alike. They are the operators of the almost legendary Ghost Squad. This case began in Stockholm, one of the capitals nearest the Iron Curtain, 3 days after an American scientist, Dr. John Cookson, was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics.
Carlson, everything ready at the hospital? Everything's ready. Pat, you all set?
Sure, I've used the fake prescriptions. There's enough pethidrin to keep him under for a week.
Now, Phil, what about the getaway? It's all prepared if we have to use it.
It's all worked out. What's the matter? Afraid?
It wouldn't be. 6 months preparation, all turning on one phone call.
Hello? Yes, put him through, please. Yes, this is Dr. Cookson speaking.
Oh, my name is Hans Lundqvist. I don't know whether you've heard of me or not, but I am head of radiography at Luberg Hospital here in Stockholm.
Heard of you? Why, I know your work very well. That paper you wrote on the electron optical image intensifier was one of the best things I've ever read. Yes, I sure would.
Darling, it's 10:30.
Yes, well, I'm going shopping with my wife. We'll be back about,
Noon.
Noon. Then I'd like to see you very much.
Would it be convenient at 2:30 this afternoon? Good. I will expect you. Right, Dr. Cookson? X-ray entrance. Oh, and be sure to come to the X-ray entrance in Prater Street. The porter there will direct you to my office. Thank you, Dr. Cookson. Goodbye. He bet. He bet. It's 20 to 3. It's late.
Why don't you relax?
I can't. You have to do that.
Yes.
Can't you two stop it?
The ambulance gets here before Cookson, the whole thing could blow up in our face.
Good afternoon.
I help you, son?
I have an appointment with Dr. Lundqvist.
This way, please.
They're coming.
Quick, behind the door.
Dr. Cookson is here, Dr. Lundqvist.
Oh, Dr. Cookson, I am so honored.
Hello.
His sleeve.
He looks so...
Get back to your lodge.
Dr. Lundquist, I simply don't understand. I heard him make the appointment myself. I was standing right beside him.
Oh, Mrs. Cookson, I know your husband by repute, of course, but I have never met him. And I most certainly did not speak to him on the telephone this morning.
You didn't? But I heard him myself. He made an appointment with you for 2:30. He said he'd be back here by 5, and it's almost 7. I'm beginning to get worried. Yes, I suppose he will. All right, Dr. Lundquist. Thank you. Goodbye. This is Mrs. John Cookson in room 301. Would you get me the American Embassy here in Stockholm, please?
The news that a top scientist had disappeared was flashed urgently and secretly to key centers in the Western world. One of the first men to hear was Sir Andrew Wilson, head of the Ghost Squad, working in his quiet office in the heart of London.
Yes, one moment. Colonel Carlin on the line, sir.
Carlin?
Colonel Niels Carlin, Chief of the Swedish Police.
Colonel Carlin, how are you? I'm glad to hear it. Well, what can I do for you? John Cookson? Yes, the American who won a Nobel in physics. Yes. Missing? When? When? What hotel? Get Craig, I want him here right away.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course I understand the implications. Yes, quite. Leave it with me for an hour, will you, and I'll call you back. Right.
Hello, Craig. Helen. Sir Andrew wants you over here fast. Big panic, so you better hurry. Okay, I'll tell him. Hello? Yes? Yes, he is. One moment. It's Washington, a personal call.
Thank you. Hello, yes, St. Andrew speaking. Yes, I know. We've had a call from Stockholm. We'll get onto it right away. Now, my good man, if I was not aware of the importance of John Cookson, the Ghost Squad would not be interested in his disappearance. Yes. I'll call you when I've something to tell you, not before. Right. Did you get Craig?
Yes, sir. He'll be here in 10 minutes.
Good. Book 3 seats on the next plane to Stockholm. Then call the Excelsior Hotel there and reserve 3 rooms.
3, Sir Andrew?
Yes, 1 for Craig, 1 for me, and 1 for you.
Me?
Yes, you may be useful. I can hardly let the best executive assistant in the world sleep in the lobby of a Stockholm hotel, can I?
Car teams entered in the Monte Carlo rally are assembling at various points all over Europe, hoping that the weather will remain fair for the 2,000-mile drive. And now for the racing results.
Racing. It's a mug's game.
Yeah, it's not the only one. You've been on the bottle again.
Well, why not? I don't like waiting around with him in the room.
Now, look, Phil, if our main plan goes wrong, you're going to have to do some pretty fancy driving in the next few days, so pull yourself together.
I can handle a car whether I'm deaf, dumb, blind, or blindfolded. You look after your job, and I'll do the driving.
Will you two stop it? Do you want to wake him up?
Is he all right?
He's as well as can be expected.
Well, that's a profound diagnosis.
Look, you hit him far too hard. He's concussed.
Well, doesn't the pethidine help?
No, it doesn't. He shouldn't be having pethidine at all in his condition.
He looks more dead than alive.
I just hope he loses this concussion before we have to move him.
John Cookson is probably the top electronic scientist in the world. He developed a new type of X-ray apparatus which totally eliminated radiation hazard. Currently, he's working on a defense project called Boomerang.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Well, the United States has sunk hundreds of millions of dollars in it. That's why Washington is worried stiff about Cookson's disappearance.
Exactly what kind of project is it?
Well, as I understand, it works in conjunction with Midas.
The spy satellite?
Yes. Midas uses infrared detection to track an enemy missile. Now, the stage Cookson has reached is some sort of beam which reverses the gyroscopic control of a rocket through 180 degrees.
You mean turns it around?
Yeah, sends it right back to the launching pad. Now, this is the ultimate weapon. It's purely defensive and totally destructive. I understand that Cookson has almost made the breakthrough.
Time we left for the airport, Sir Andrew.
Right. Did you get through to Colonel Collins?
Yes, sir. He's expecting us.
Good.
Sir Andrew, have you faced the real danger? That Cookson may already be behind the Iron Curtain?
Don't even mention that. The thought's terrifying. You do realize that if they get him, they'll squeeze him dry. He's a scientist, not a hero.
Mrs. Cookson, you look rather tired. Why do you not try to rest?
Colonel Carl and I wouldn't shut an eye. Is there nothing more you can do?
For 8 hours now, my men have been searching all Stockholm for your husband. He has vanished so completely. It is almost as though he...
As though what?
does not want to be found.
Are you suggesting for 1 second that John would...
Mrs. Cookson, I've been chief of the Swedish police for 10 years. I've seen men do many things. Now, is it not possible that your husband may...
No. Before my husband would give information to the other side, he'd kill himself.
I will get it.
Special delivery for Mrs. John Cookson.
How did this come?
In the post, sir.
Thank you.
What is it?
No, be careful. Let me. Posted, Stockholm General Post Office, 8 p.m.
It's his tie.
Your husband is safe.
Thank God.
So far.
This seems more like a job of the Secret Service than the Ghost Squad.
We're all in this one. Half the security men in Western Europe will be converging on Stockholm at this moment.
I hope we're not too late. If they once get him across Finland, we can all start buying red flags.
Look, we'd have had company if we'd been on the morning flight.
Oh, who?
The London police team in the Monte Carlo rally.
Oh, that's right. They're starting from Stockholm. With a bit of luck, we'll see them off.
My dear girl, we've more important things to worry about than the Monte Carlo rally. We're due in 10 minutes and Carlin's waiting for us.
Now, as soon as we heard Cookson was missing, we mounted roadblocks on all the roads leading to the borders. That is, here, here, and here. And we put a special watch on the airports and the ships.
Fine, Colonel. And no news has leaked out yet.
Not a thing.
Well, let's hope that it stays that way. Now, you've nothing else to go on beyond the note that came with the necktie.
Oh, yes. The wife insists that he spoke to a specialist called Lundquist at the Luberg Hospital. Now, we have tried there, but we have drawn a blank.
Well, I'll get my man Craig onto that first thing in the morning.
Good, Sir Andrew.
You're sure you've never seen this man before?
Never, mister.
We found a cab driver who swears he dropped Dr. Cookson outside this door yesterday at 20 to 3.
Sir, maybe he go in another door.
He was told to use this door. He had an appointment with Dr. Lundquist.
Sir, you ask Dr. Lundquist. I am only porter.
But I've already told the Swedish police that I've never met Dr. Cookson in my life. And now, Mr. Craig, please, you must excuse me. I'm already late for a consultation.
Doctor, could anybody else in the hospital have arranged for you to meet Dr. Cookson?
No, impossible.
How can you be so sure?
Because everyone at the hospital, certainly in my department, knows perfectly well that I lecture at the university every Tuesday afternoon.
I see. So everybody knows that you're not in your office at that time?
Of course. Personally, I don't think Mr. Cookson came anywhere near this hospital yesterday.
Dr. Lundquist, you mind if I look around a bit?
You want to look for clues? But of course. Personally, I think you are a little optimistic, but go ahead. The police have already looked everywhere in the room. And now you really must excuse me, please.
Certainly. No, thank you for your time.
Not at all.
Why don't they say what they want instead of sending me as things like this, one at a time?
Mrs. Cookson, may I see that note again? Thank you. Your husband is safe. But if you want to see him again, you will assure your government that the articles you have received are really his. You must then persuade them to meet our terms, which will be sent to you shortly.
When will they get the letter?
It'll be delivered to the American Embassy in less than an hour.
How long did you give them?
At 12:30 tomorrow.
There's one thing I don't understand.
What?
This draft you're asking for. How do we cash it?
Phil cashes it. By flying to London and walking into the Bank of England.
Will the police be waiting for it?
Oh, sure, they'll be waiting. But that's all. I made it perfectly clear in the letter. Unless Phil is back here in Stockholm in 3 days, Cookson dies. God, do you have to play with those keys?
Bob, stop needling him. You do it all the time.
Oh, it makes me nervous. If you can't stay sober, at least you can keep quiet.
All right. I've had enough. Get yourself another driver.
Why not? If Dickinson can drive an ambulance that fast through Stockholm traffic, he can drive a car in the Monte Carlo Rally.
You're out of your tiny mind.
Well, that's 2 of them broken. Now how do we get him out of Sweden if we have to?
Don't panic. The United States government will pay up. If not, there are other ways of keeping him quiet.
Persuade them to meet our terms, which will be sent to you shortly. Now, you say this was sent to the wife together with the wristwatch, Sir Andrew.
That's right. So now we know one thing. That no foreign agent sent that note. This is just a kidnapping. It has no political significance in it.
Now, the next move will come from them when they are ready to reveal the size of the ransom.
Mm-hmm. But while Cookson is still missing, there's the greatest danger to the Western Alliance. The knowledge he possesses will be priceless in the wrong hands. The greatest danger would be if they were to smuggle him out of Sweden.
That is impossible, Sir Andrew. We've got a special watch on all frontiers and all departures.
Now, let's hope that it works. Because at all costs, John Cookson must not get out of this country.
I know how you feel, but you've just got to have faith in people like Sir Andrew. He'll get your husband back, all right? Any news, sir?
Yes. Yes, he's alive and well. I've just come from the American embassy. They've received a demand for ransom money. The ambassador's on the phone to Washington now.
They'll pay, of course.
How much do they want?
$1 million.
$1 million?
For a man of his value, is that so outrageous?
That's not all, Mrs. Cookson. There's a threat as well. If they don't get the money, they're going to sell your husband to the other side.
This is simple. This vial contained a pain-inhibiting depressant used extensively in post-surgery convalescence. Not being a surgeon, I would never prescribe it myself.
And yet I found it in your office.
I find that very difficult to explain. Nobody administers this in an office.
Why?
The patient would have to be in bed.
Unless the patient was John Cookson.
Then your theory is that Cookson was somehow tricked into going into Lindquist's office.
Yes, sir.
And that there he was given an injection which knocked him out, and then he was smuggled out of this hospital, swarming with doctors and nurses.
It could explain the ambulance reported abandoned south of the city.
Possibly. Did the local police get any lead on that ambulance?
They're checking for fingerprints now, but they won't find anything.
Meantime, we follow the kidnappers' instructions. They want a sight draft on the Bank of England for $1 million United States dollars, put into an envelope, and posted in the mailbox in St. Eric's Garden to catch the 12:30 post tomorrow morning.
Who's it addressed to?
Herr Olsen, Post Restaurant, Main Post Office, Stockholm.
It's to be called for? They must be crazy.
No, they're not crazy. My guess is they won't try to pick it up at all. They'll intercept that letter before it reaches the post office.
How?
I don't know, but that's the logical thing for them to do, isn't it?
Is the American government really going to pay?
No.
Why not?
Oh, Cookson's worth the money, all right. But the FBI is convinced that once the kidnappers get the money, they'll kill Cookson.
So what do we do?
We follow an envelope containing 6 blank sheets of paper. We follow it all the way from St. Eric's Garden to the main post office. We tail anyone who tries to grab it, and that should lead us to Cookson.
We've got quite a job on our hands.
Yes, but we can't afford to fail. Millions of lives may depend on Cookson's recovery.
During the next 24 hours, we briefed dozens of detectives to cover the route of the letter on its way to the post office. We decided that Helen should post a letter, that she should do so just a moment or so before the collection was due.
The letterbox is around the corner on the left against the wall.
Off you go, Helen. There's the letter. Now, no one knows you, and no one knows where the letter is coming from. You're quite safe. Don't worry.
I'm not worried, sir.
1 minute to collection time.
It's gone. Hey, you!
I've no one to blame but myself. They got clean away and with half the Stockholm police looking on.
Hello? Yes, he is. Craig for you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Craig. Yes? When? I see, all right. Well, get on with it. Hand it over to the local police. The man's dead. Never recovered consciousness. There's nothing on him to identify him, and that envelope is missing.
What happens now, sir?
Well, presumably they'll go ahead and sell him to the other side. And that involves two things. One, getting Cookson out of the country if they've not already done so. And two, contacting and collecting from the other side. Will you get London on the phone for me, Winters?
Yes, sir.
We must warn them to watch out for any large sums of money transferred from the East into a neutral bank.
Where is Bob? What's keeping the idiot?
Give him a chance. The draft was only mailed at 12:30.
It's 1:10. Should be back now unless something's gone wrong.
Come on, Johnny. Drink your soup.
Oh, leave him alone. He was perfectly quiet until you started messing around with him.
He hasn't eaten for 48 hours. Do you want him to starve to death? Come on now, finish it up. Come on. There's a good boy. Now help me get him lying down again.
Wish I'd never got into this.
Why did you?
Oh, I don't know. Money, boredom, because I'm crazy. Car racing was the only thing I ever did really well. The Great Phil Slade, they used to call me. Till I threw a race and got banned from every track in the world. So I took to drinking. Ran down a child one night when I was drunk and killed him. Went down for 3 years, manslaughter. How'd it go?
Oh, everything went wrong. The place was crawling with detectives.
What?
Yeah, one of them went after Dickinson. He tried to get away in the traffic. A truck hit him.
Is he all right?
No, he's dead. And for what? 6 blank sheets of paper. We should have taken him east in the first place. They'd have paid up with no questions asked. Well, so help me, they'll pay now. Is Cookson all right?
His temperature's down. He's improving.
Well, let's get out of here before the police identify Dickinson.
I thought you told him not to carry any papers.
There are other ways. Fingerprints, teeth, laundry marks. Now, Pat, be ready to move him in an hour.
Move him? Anything could happen to him in his condition.
We'll have to risk that. Phil, are you ready for the rally?
Yes. Well, that's the way you want it.
I've got to. I have a call to make. I'll be right back. Why should I believe this story? Would I invent it? Well, it's true. Where is Cookson now? You don't expect me to tell you. Or perhaps not. But if I do pass this to the right quarter, and we accept your price, how and where will you deliver him to us? And not in Sweden. It's getting too hot. But I can deliver him in Switzerland in 3 or 4 days. Very well. Here's a telephone number in Zurich. When you get there, you'll have your answer waiting for you. Fine.
Meantime, I was following up the one lead we had, a laundry mark in the dead man's shirt. We soon located the laundry, and they identified it as the mark of a Mrs. Johnsrud who ran a small boarding house. I understand that, Mrs. Johnsrud. But this is your laundry mark, right?
Yeah, it's my laundry mark.
Who does the shirt belong to? Your husband, maybe?
Husband dead.
You live here alone?
With brother.
Is it your brother's shirt?
It's English shirt.
I know that, Mrs. Johnsrud. But I want you to tell me who it belongs to. One of your boarders.
Yeah, it's Mr. Dickinson's, this shirt.
Who's Mr. Dickinson?
His boarder. Englishman. He stay here 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks now.
Take a look at this.
His man in accident.
He was killed 3 hours ago by a truck.
Terrible.
Take a good look at his face.
Yeah, it's Mr. Dickinson.
I'd like to look at his room so I can notify his relatives.
Yeah, sure, you come. Terrible thing.
All right at the back, then?
He's fast asleep.
Let's hope he stays that way.
Especially at the checkpoints.
I'll turn next.
Well, he certainly didn't leave much, did he? Mrs. Johnsrud, did you ever meet any of his friends?
No friends. Early morning, Mr. Dickinson go out. Come home, it's dark.
There's nothing you can tell me about him, then. It's very important.
I know nothing. I work, clean, mind the business. Oh, my brother, he come now. Maybe he know. Eric, is man here to talk?
The climax of a lifetime of work. A Nobel Prize in physics. And now this.
Mrs. Cookson, they'll find him. I'm sure they will.
I begged John not to get into all this defense business. He didn't want to, really.
Colonel Carlin, any news?
Yes. The dead man is Frank Dickinson, British. Interpol checked on his prints. Now, he was released from Parkhurst Prison in England last year. And up until 5 weeks ago, he worked in a garage in London. That's been checked out now.
And where's Craig?
Working on Dickinson from this end.
Oh, then there was some identification.
Oh, yes. There was a laundry mark on his shirt.
Come on, Carlson. I want the truth. You helped them, didn't you?
Please, mister, nothing.
There had to be a man in the hospital to help them. Otherwise, they'd have never gotten away with it.
Eric, you do this thing. I know you do it. I see it in your face.
Jenny, ikke se på meg på den måten.
Speak English. Tell truth.
Okay, Carlson, we'll have to take you down to the police station.
No, I tell, please, mister, no police.
Then talk.
They promised me 2,000 kroner to help them. They say this Cookson is a bad man.
We'll be in Denmark in 2 hours.
If we get through the control at Helsingborg.
We did fine last time.
We're pressing our luck, Bob. The next one's the tough one.
Go to sleep, Johnny. There's a good boy. That's right.
Is he all right?
Apart from a high pulse rate, a temperature, concussion, and too much sedation, yes.
Hi. Any luck?
There's nobody here, of course. Whoever they were, they've gone.
What's this?
Oh, my men searched the living room. Now, everything appeared quite normal, but they thought we might be interested in these odds and ends. Now, they reported they had the broken files of a drug called pethidine.
The same stuff we found in Lundquist's room at the hospital.
Exactly.
Well, what do we know so far? According to Carlson, the gang consists of an American, an Englishman, and a girl who was some kind of a nurse.
And he doesn't even know the name of one of them.
Well, naturally, he wouldn't. He was just one of their stooges. What's this?
Oh, we picked it up off the carpet.
A key holder with the initials P.S.
Helsingborg, 20 kilometers. And dead on time.
Car behind is catching up. Who's number 37?
Phil, it's a police car. It was entered by the London Metropolitan Police.
Don't worry. They've got to be a minute behind us at the next control point.
Let's hope they stay that way. If they ever get a good look at Cookson...
In this outfit with those dark glasses, his own wife wouldn't know him.
Which road?
Fork left.
Once we get across the water, we'll be all right.
It's very worn. P.S. Could be anyone in millions.
Hello? It's London. Yes? Yes, could I have the name again, please? Right. London's Trace Dickinson's employer. He's a man named Philip Slade. They say he's here in Sweden competing in the Monte Carlo Rally.
I remember Slade. Brilliant racing driver. Went down for manslaughter. P.S.
This could be it.
Where do we find him in Stockholm?
We don't. We're too late, Sir Andrew. The rally has started. If Slade is in it, he left here last night.
Here we are at Helsingborg Control. It takes 25 minutes by ferry across to Denmark and then across to the Korsor ferry. From there, Odense, Flensburg, and Hamburg, and then straight south down to Frankfurt.
You're clear. Straight ahead for the loading ship. Oh, Mr. Slade. You're right on time. May I have the book, please? Yeah.
Oh. Don't let him wake up now, for Pete's sake.
Can't you keep him quiet?
He'll be all right. I can handle him. Quiet, Johnny. Go to sleep.
No, by my calculations, they're just about coming into the Helsinki control point now.
I agree. Can you get them?
Yes, sir?
I'll see how quickly you can get me the steward to the Helsinki control point on the Monte Carlo rally route.
Yes, sir.
What's the matter with him?
Oh, he overdid his seasick pill. He's the sort that'd get sick crossing the George Washington Bridge.
And from here across the straits, looks pretty rough to me.
Are you sure he'll be all right? You don't need a doctor?
He'll be all right. He'll sleep it off in a couple of hours.
Okay, Mr. Slade. Away you go.
Now, let's put ourselves into the kidnapper's position. They want to get a man through the Iron Curtain, right?
Right. But would they take him through themselves?
No, 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 of course not. That's the whole point. They'd want the money before they handed him over. They'd need the cash in a neutral bank.
Switzerland.
Switzerland it is, of course. Now, where's the nearest point on the rally to Switzerland?
Near Basel.
Yeah?
Helsingborg Control on the line, Colonel Collin.
Hello, Colonel Collins, Stockholm Police. I want a rally car stopped at the Helsingborg control point. Yes? Its number is 36, driven by Philip Slade. That's right. Yes, sir, well, hold on. We're checking. Yes? Yes, he has. Oh, how long ago? All right, thank you. He left an hour ago.
Which means it's now in Denmark.
I'll get in touch with the local police at once.
Wait a moment. Once we cross the frontier, we increase the danger of the news leaking out. With all due respect to you, Colonel Collin, please don't call Denmark.
But he is in Denmark, Sir Andrew. We've got to stop him.
Listen, these are desperate, ruthless men. Once that they think that they're safe, they'll relax. If some village policeman in Denmark is to stop them, they'll go berserk, they'll shoot their way out, and we lose Cookson. I know these men. They would shoot their own mothers for money. Now, how soon could you let me have a chartered plane to Frankfurt?
You can get a flight in an hour.
Good. Now, Winters.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is where we split up. I want you to go with Craig and see if you can intercept them between Frankfurt and Switzerland.
Right, sir.
Well, will you go and get ready? Now, Craig, whom have we got in Frankfurt?
Slater.
Slater. Will you phone him? Tell him to have a car ready with rally equipment waiting for you at the airport. Get yourself into that rally. I must know for certain whether they have Cookson in that car.
Right. We chartered a plane and reached Frankfurt a full day before the rally cars. Slater had done a good job. We picked up the car, rally number 24, and drove 50 miles back up the Autobahn to wait for rally car number 36. I knew that if we got near enough, Helen could get a good look at Cookson. If it was Cookson.
How's he doing?
I wish you'd stop asking me how he is. You couldn't care less.
I couldn't care more. The people we're selling to don't buy damaged goods.
His driving is very bad for his concussion. He ought to have expert medical attention.
Well, that's what you're being paid for.
Keep her on the road, Bob.
I don't know why we brought her with us, if she can't look after him.
Look, I've had patients under sedation for days in a hospital, but not in the back seat of a car. I never dreamed we'd have to go this far. You were so sure the Americans would pay up.
That was car 37.
Yeah, and right on time.
So number 36 is a minute late.
I don't like it. A driver like Phil Slade wouldn't lose a full minute on this part of the course.
What do you think we should do? Go look for them?
No. Let's give them another minute.
If the old man's theory about them staying with the rally is wrong, we'll never find them. There they go.
Why do we have to stay on the rally course anyway? Why don't we head straight for the Swiss border?
Because any other car would be stopped and questioned. A rally car whips through in a second.
Seems so crazy to me clocking in at checkpoints for hundreds of miles.
Relax, can't you? We're getting nearer to Switzerland all the time.
Helen, get the binoculars. Take a look through their back window.
Hey, Phil. Phil, wake up. There's a car right in our tail.
Can you see anything?
There's a girl and a man in the back seat. I can only see his shoulder.
Well, I'll pass them. You lean out, wave, then you can get a really good look. Well?
It looked like the pictures of Cookson. He seemed to be asleep. Now what do we do? Edge them off the road?
No, that'd be risking Cookson's life.
Are you stopping?
Yes, I'm gonna pull over. You get out and look under the hood. They'll think we've got engine trouble, then we'll get behind them again.
Looks as if they're in trouble.
And what's their number?
I'll tell you in a minute. "24. 24. Lars Anderson in a 3-liter Golf. Wait a minute. That wasn't a 3-liter Golf, and that wasn't Lars Anderson.
You sure?
I'm positive. Bob, that car's a phony. They're onto us.
You're the big racing driver. You take over.
It'll be a pleasure.
They didn't have engine trouble. They're right behind us.
they're getting away from us.
Yeah.
Is this as fast as we can go?
No, but I'm not Phil Slade. All right. Hang on, Helen. I hope your insurance is paid up.
We've lost them round the bend.
How far behind were they?
About half a mile.
Find me a turning.
There's one coming up on the left.
I've got it. Are they in sight?
No.
Well, hold your seats.
You aren't hurt.
No, I don't think so. Oh, your head's cut.
It's all right. We're lucky.
Oh,
You sure you're all right?
yes.
Must have turned off before us.
Well, now what?
Well, I guess we hitchhike. We'll get the gear out, and we'll phone the old man.
I can hear him screaming all the way from Stockholm.
Cracked up. Are you all right? Good. And Helen? Fine. Well, now listen. I've just had news that $1 million has been transferred from the East to the Interlaken Bank in Zurich. So that's where they'll try to hand over Cookson. Now, I've alerted Zurich to watch for their arrival, to check on every single hotel and try and discover their contact. Will you get to Zurich as fast as you can? Good. Right, Craig. Bye.
We're in luck. They crossed the Swiss border here 3 hours ago.
3 hours?
Well, Helen, they've been traveling all day and all night. They've got to get some rest. Zurich is where the money is, so that's a logical place for them to get some sleep. Sir Andrew's checking on every hotel. Come on. At 40 miles an hour, which was the best the old buggy would do, it was daylight when we reached Zurich. The first thing I did was check with my local number. Hello, Craig here. You did? What hotel? The Royal. What's that? Bob Royston is wanted for murder in Mississippi and Illinois. Yeah. Is he known to carry a gun? Right. Thanks for the warning. Wilson's Ghost Squad network had traced the kidnappers to the Royal Hotel, room number 28. They'd gone even better than that. They'd booked us into room number 27.
But if we're so sure they're right next door, why don't we walk in with half a dozen policemen and just take over?
When we know Royston is a killer and carries a gun? Oh, no. If there was gunplay, Cookson might collect a bullet.
Well, so what do we do?
We wait. And watch.
I was given your number in Stockholm. I was told you'd have a message for me. Then you are interested. I see. Very well. Right, I'm at the Royal Hotel. I'll wait for your call.
Well?
They got the message all right. They were expecting a call.
And?
I don't know. Maybe they were suspicious or something. Anyway, they said they'd get in touch with us here.
So what do we do?
Well, what can we do? Wait. All day and all night if necessary. Can't you keep him quiet?
Oh, sure. If I had the stuff to do it with. You two broke it on the floor in Stockholm, remember?
What time is it?
8 o'clock?
I slept all afternoon. Why didn't you wake me? Here. Let me take over. You get a rest.
10 o'clock. If they don't come soon, I'll call them again.
No one's coming. Now, tomorrow, or ever.
No, they'll come all right. They want Cookson so bad they can taste it.
Yes. Oh, Sir Andrew, where are you? Zurich. No, nobody's been near them except a waiter. Sure. Right. All right. We'll try it your way. Come on, Helen. Wilson's here and things are starting to move.
Bob, he's so weak. I can't do any more for him. If they don't come soon, we'll have to get a doctor.
They'll come. They've got to. Cookson's the prize of the century.
I told you they'd come.
You were expecting me.
Come in.
Where am I?
He's pretty weak. We'll have to take care of him.
Don't worry. We'll look after him all right.
Why are we stopping? What's wrong?
Where are you taking us?
To the Zurich police station.
Don't move, Slade. Bob Royston was later extradited to the United States, where he died in the electric chair at Sing Sing. Phil Slade got 20 years for kidnapping. And Pat Miller, the girl, got 7 years for conspiracy to kidnap and felonious assault.
Bye, sir. Goodbye, Cookson.
Sir Andrew, what can I say?
Well, don't say anything, Mrs.
Thank
Cookson.
you. Thank you.
Look after him. Well done, Craig. Well done, Helen. That was a splendid effort.
Is Dr. Cookson all right?
Oh, he'll be as fit as a fiddle once he's had the stitches removed.
Sir Andrew, just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I presume you checked on the doctor he's going to?